Hi, I'm Bear.
And I'm Sticks. On our podcast, we talk about everything airsoft. Today's guest is someone who truly embodies leadership in airsoft and what it's all about. The fearless commander of the Phantoms, a team that's been dominating the scene for over 4 years. He's led the squad through intense competition, high stakes SAASL matches, challenging COF missions, and countless training sessions that push limits and forge warriors. On and off the field, he's a strategist, motivator, and a brother to his team. When he's not leading the charge in battle, he's right behind the mic as the co host of this very podcast, bringing insight, energy, and passion to every episode. Please welcome the man, the myth, the phantom himself, Bear.
Thanks, Dix. Um, yeah, it's quite a mouthful. I feel so honored. I think it's about time we actually get a chat about the Phantoms. I think the whole embodiment of what a airsoft culture and airsoft group should be is like the Phantom. So I'm actually glad we're doing this one. And yeah, it was actually brought on by yourself to bring it up. So I'm glad that we're doing it.
Same. I want to be able to share what our team is all about with the rest of the people in South Africa to our listeners. So, yeah, why not discuss it?
Absolutely.
So, first, we're going to start off with a very basic question. How did you get into airsoft? Was it a friend, a random invite, or did you just stumble into it?
So oddly enough, I actually played airsoft long before Phantom. It was back when Sly was hosting at Syringa. I don't know how exactly it came about. I don't know if I saw a YouTube video or something, but I just saw this thing about airsoft, and I was like, "What is this thing?" Because I used to play paintball back in the day. I had a whole paintball kit, and I had a paintball Tipman Recon, and it was lekker. But there was always that thing about paintball gets dirty, so I stopped playing after a while. But ideally, what it was is that I utilize paintball for training purposes. I do tactical training and teams, small unit teams training. So we used the paintball, and then someone brought up, I think it was in that group that said, "Hey, have you seen this airsoft? It's so much better. We can actually do mag drill changes and stuff like that." And I was like, "Oh, let's have a look at it." And I think that's where it all started. My brother-in-law actually played the first airsoft game with me. I bought a second-hand gun off of what was like this online second-hand website. Um, the life of me, I can't remember what that website was called.
I, I know the website, I can't remember the name. I tried to sell the gas blowback there and the pistol there, but then it got shut down.
Yeah,
God, what's its name?
it was really cool. I mean, it was a whole like way of doing it, and it almost reminded me of Mix It. Those who know what Mix It is. Um, and so I bought my M4A1 full metal rifle on there, and that's also where I had my first bad experience with airsoft. Because I bought this rifle, I got home with this thing, put a battery in, fired a burst shot, and the gun jammed up, stopped working. Obviously,
Uh,
new into it, I've got no idea what's going on. It's like, why is this even happening? Took it to Sly, Wim Slybach, or as most people know him now as Matthew. Oh, sorry, Alex, not Matthew, Alex at Cerberus. And yeah, something fundamentally like all this, there was something that broke off. It was a pin in there that broke off, and I
oh,
would
yeah.
have to get a whole new casing for this thing. So I was like, no, this is not on. Anyways, it's not the question that you asked. So yes, so airsoft was a social thing that I played at Syringa, and when my one mate stopped playing, then I was like, okay, I'm going to stop playing. Forward a couple of years, I stopped doing training for a long time, um, just focusing on work and on family. Got back into the training, had a group of guys that we did real steel. I think as soon as when I got my real firearm, my first firearm, I got back into the training because I was like, no, guys, let's get on with this. Um, and then we said, okay, well, let's use airsoft as a training method so we can do force on force. Did that for about a year, and SAASL hosted this Kempton Park 24-hour event, and that's pretty much it. Then we said to the guys, okay, we train together on a regular basis. Let's go put our skills to the test against other people, and especially a 24-hour night op, it would have been hella fun. And Phantom started. It was a group of about initially Phantoms was a group of about 10 guys, and then when we got onto the factions WhatsApp group, I said, look, if anyone wants to join a small unit, welcome to join. And that's where you guys came. And we grew quickly. I think we grew to about 30 to 40 players, and we were the biggest team at that event.
Yeah,
Um,
that I remember.
so that was cool. I mean, and that's it. And then it was just from there, we just like, all right, well, let's dominate this sport. We tried everything. We went from Milsim, we went to the 5v5s that Bruce hosted, the Battle Arena. Then we did Speedsoft. Then we went to Cough. Um, yeah, the whole focus as Phantom was just to show what the community should be like.
100%. And what's the story behind the team's logo and the name? Like, does it have a deeper meaning?
Actually, so Phantom, the the first initial 10 guys, we obviously were on Real Steel shooting together, but we also used to play Armor 3 together, video game. And that's also where we learned a lot of actual strategy. We played, I had my own server back then called Scud, just specialized combat unit division. And I think we were about 100 people on that server at one point.
Sure.
Um, and we actually used to join with a group called SANDF, which was an actual veterans of the SADF force, some SANDF force members, and we learned from them, and we learned how to do, proper fire maneuver, vehicle infiltration, vehicle movement, vehicle everything, communications, how to properly shoot, because armor can be quite in depth with how you can do medicals and all that stuff. You actually learn quite a lot from there. You can learn a lot of real world applications through Armor 3. Anyways, so one of the Scud units, so we had a specialized unit that was a recon unit, and we called them Phantoms. We had a tier 1 unit, like Special Forces, which wasn't obviously recon, but it was Special
Yeah.
Forces. We called them Daggers. But we didn't want to take, because we were still playing armor. So I said, no, I don't want to take the dagger unit because we're still utilizing that. But the phantom unit was disavowed because it formed part of dagger now. And so I was like, I don't want to lose that name. And it's such a cool name. And that's how Phantom came to be. Even the logo itself was the same one we used in armor. So I don't want to lose that name. I think it's a really cool name, and it speaks volume in terms of what a small unit can do. They're supposed to be deadly and not be seen. So, Phantom stick.
But I mean, I will just touch on what you said on playing like Arm and that. I mean, we game pretty often, but when we play Ghost Recon Breakpoint, even then we're still using the tactics that we would use when
Yeah.
we together on field. So I think that's why we adapt so well and we work so well together, is because not only are we training on the field, but off the field when we're gaming, we're working on our communication, we're working on our skills, we're working on our rotations. And I think that just says what all it needs to say is certain things can be taken over from video games to real life of airsoft or real steel.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's always transferable skills, whether it's in video games, airsoft, and real steel. I mean, it got actually so bad at one point, my wife would ask me a question, I'm like, okay, copy. Um, and she's like, what? I was like, I mean, I've got this. Okay, good, thank you. And still today, still happens. She'll send me a WhatsApp or a voice note asking me, "Did I get this on a guest copy?" Anyways, so yeah, I mean, when we were playing Speedsoft, for instance, we utilized the skills we've learned from Rainbow Six Siege on rotations and movement and communication, and then transferred that into Speedsoft, and it actually made us really good at what we in Speedsoft. Um, you know what I do like about the airsoft, the guys say, "Oh, airsoft you can't really use for training because you can't anticipate the recoil and what." I understand that to a degree, but we and you can ask the butchers when they face us, they say all they see is barrel and a little bit of face, and it's so hard to engage with us because that's all they
Tips
see, all right?
and fingertips.
And fingers. But that's the point. Now, if I can do that on a speedsoft field, when I'm in a real situation with real steel and I'm incorporating that skill set, if I'm engaging from behind cover and that oak's in the open, well, he's not going to be able to hit my vitals, but I'm sure as hell going to shoot his vitals. So anyone that
I,
says airsoft is not can't be used for training, don't know what they're talking about.
okay, that I understand. So we're going to move on to the next question. But now this one is going to be a bit dicey.
Okay.
If you had to describe your leadership style in 3 words, what would they be? And would your team agree with what you say?
I would say mentorship, um, strength, and no nonsense.
Last one, I don't really believe. Because we've shot each other for fun so many times, just out the blue. So I don't think the no nonsense thing puts in place.
Well, let me elaborate like this. When we do training, we focus. When we're on the field, we focus. When we social, we social.
It's
Um,
true.
so when someone messes about, and I mean, Dory can definitely attest to this. When someone messes about, you are going to get a yelling from me to focus up because we're here to focus on a specific task. Um, Phantoms is a brotherhood, and we're there more than just an airsoft team. We're there to love each other, to support each other, to grow with each other, and to be better men and women at the end of the day, be better people. And that's the whole ethos behind Phantoms. It's not just about the airsoft, it's about being part of something bigger than yourself and to make something bigger than yourself. So when we get into a place of training, let's focus up, let's get this done, we can jewel afterwards. So that's
Mm.
when it comes to the no nonsense part. Also,
Okay.
when there is quarrels between the group, because as it would be brothers fight, there's also no nonsense. There's right, there's wrong, and there's two sides to a coin. There's two sides to a story. Let's just sort this out and move on. There's no kinderkok, as they would say.
Okay. That I get then. And now, what's a moment where you felt genuinely proud of your team, not for just winning, but how they handled themselves?
I think there's many ways of, very often we get complimented on the way we handle situations. Very often, um, and this has been by a few organizations, which I don't mention names, where I feel like because we carry the name Phantoms and because we often do well in the certain things, I almost feel like we all get targeted as well for unfairness. They all being unfair towards us, not us being unfair, but being unfair towards us. We would make a plan and we execute the plan. There was no rules against that plan. And then on the next round, they go, no, 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 you guys can't do this. You were doing too well. I go, but there wasn't the rule. Um, so I feel like often, but what we always do is like, all right, let's just make up a new plan then. We won't fight it. You know, the three rules of being in a phantom is be a lacquer person, fit in with the team, and be committed to the team, right? We have the ethos that we live by as well, on off and on the field. So I think that makes me proud of the group. I think a proudest moment that I have is, and I'm going to bring up a personal thing here on your side, Sticks, is the relationships that can be built. Um, for instance, you, your brother, and your dad were astray as family members. And because of the group and because of the sport, you guys are closer than ever.
Oh, yes.
Brought you together. And also on a personal capacity from you, I saw you coming in here with a low self esteem to a point now where you're probably one of the strongest members in our group. And the confidence that has grown from where you were to now, from where you were to now, it's you wouldn't even recognize that old person anymore. You know, where you came in saying, "No, my name is Sticks because I'm skinny," to the point where I'm Sticks because I'm sticking it to everyone is the ethos. That's you. That's how through and through. So that's a proud moment for me.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh no, and I'm no longer wearing my neon green shoes anymore. Like that's just an improvement of note.
Yeah, I think that's where my no nonsense also comes in. I'm like, okay, we're a team. We got to look unified. We're gonna. This is the gear we buying. That's it. End of story. The patch is on this arm. The patch is and the other patch is on this arm. There's no negotiable on that. That's how. So I can be a bit of a stickler when it comes to that.
I get that, but it brings the team together. Yeah. I think it's uniformity is the word I'm searching for.
Uniformity and discipline. That's what I love about the military. It's there's discipline. Discipline creates strong men.
Now, I remember it was early days of Phantom. If you dropped your rifle, even if it was an accident, even if it was just a little tiny little drop, hey, you had to do push-ups.
Yeah. I think that
That
happened
I'm
when I dropped the rifle. I'm like, I'm not doing push-ups.
yeah, I think that's what happened. Was Visha was like, okay, no one else saw. I'm not gonna mention that I dropped it. Let's just go on. But yeah, then for a new player, if they were looking at joining Phantoms and things like that, what could they expect from day one?
I think friendships. You know, I think the first thing we look at with new guys is we always have an open door. Anyone's welcome to join Phantoms. You know, I think with our recent restructuring, it's going to make it's actually going to be a much better structure. But any new person is welcome to join Phantoms. We are so open and we're so welcome to anyone. Even when we play socials and guys want to like ask two random guys, "Oh, can we play with us?" Absolutely, come join. So they're going to get that friendliness, you know. Um, a real man, a strong man, is a man that loves others, right? So if you're arrogant and you're like, I mean, don't bother us, you know, that's not showing love to others. So you're being a
Hmm.
weak person. So any person is welcome to join. We welcome everyone. They're going to get a lacquer jaw with us. So and then from there, if they want to be part of this, you know, there's a few rules that they have to follow. Being part of the Phantom Army, as we're going to call it now, is you have to be a lacquer person. You have to fit in with the team. Okay, because let's be honest, personalities do clash. And even though
Yeah.
we won't push anyone necessarily out, other people might feel like, this isn't for me, and that's okay. You know, that's it's. Although I don't see how it would be because you know we're all just a bunch of lacquers. We've got a whole range of people in our group. We've got from the weirdest guy to the most annoying guy to the most stand up. They're all a bunch of different people. But the one thing we do is we don't judge anyone. We don't judge each other. We accept and we support each other. So you'll be part of the Phantom Army. If you want to get involved more in terms of being committed, earning the tab, becoming part of a special unit where we play as a team, as a unit predominantly, then you know there's a little bit more of basic training that you have to go through. You have to be, you know, selected into that unit, and you have to be committed. So the Phantom Army, you don't have to attend to every game or every training or every social. You can just do whatever you like. But as a Phantom SOG Alpha or SOGA, you have to be committed. You have to attend at least two trainings a year. You have to be at least one event a year, and you have to be at least one social a year. and that's excluding the Phantom year end that we do as a big group. So those are the expectations that we have, and that's what guys can expect coming into Phantom.
And how do you make sure a new player feels included or confident early on?
Well, I think we make sure that we engage with each other. Um, get to understand who this person is and what that person is. Like I said, for me as a leadership, it's about mentorship, and I'm not the only one doing the mentoring. Most guys in our group does the mentoring. I think that's why I love that so much, because it started with me mentoring to now other guys are mentoring, and we're just growing better people. So I like to understand people. I like to know where they came from, what's their life like, what's their goals in life, and how can I help them become better. So that's how I think these guys can feel when they get into it. This is how we're going to get to know you, and this is how you're going to form part of our group. I might even pair him up with someone that's a little bit closer to his level or his personality and say, well, you guys are battle buddies, you know, work together.
Yeah, I got that, I guess. And then for anyone who's listening who wants to join but feels nervous, what advice would you give them?
Come chat to me. Send me a WhatsApp. I'll tell you,
That's
often we get in the past, you would, I think even you sent someone say, is it okay if this guy joins? I'm like, of course, you know. And then I'll get his WhatsApp number and I'll send him a message. Say, I hear you want to join. This is just who we are. Here's the rules that we have. Are you interested in that? Yes or no? Most of the times it would always be yes. I was like, well then I look forward to seeing you at the social, and let's get to know you. You know, and then everyone. I mean, I don't even have to do anything. I would introduce someone, or you would introduce someone, and it's just yes, everyone is just chatting to each other and then roping him into this conversation. Oh, what gun do you have? What gun are you looking for? You know, so it's like that.
so it's more the community that you've built has made you pretty proud.
Well, I think a community we built. Yes, I mean I started it off, but it's not me. I mean, I surrounded myself with good guys, and those good guys are surrounding themselves with good guys, and we're just growing like that. There has been some bad apples in our group, 100%. And again,
Mm.
I'm not going to mention names, but we've asked them to leave because we don't need toxic people in our group, and we don't take arrogant. Well, I want to say we don't take arrogant people. There's a certain level of arrogancy that can be construed as confidence. So
Yes,
being
yeah.
a confident person doesn't mean that you're an arrogant person, you know. But there is some arrogant people that causes issues in other, or did cause issues in other groups, and that we don't accept. We don't want to be a box. And we don't want to cause nonsense. That's not us. That's not how we roll.
Yeah, but again, it's also the intention behind it. So it's like I know my relationship with Abe. Like we trash talk each other just like we do online.
Yeah,
So the thing is, if I kill him, I'm gonna be seem more arrogant towards him, but he knows it's coming across as a joke. So
yeah,
it's the intent behind it that also plays a little bit of a role.
100%. And I think it's a relationship that gets built. So as soon as that relationship is built to that degree, and that's how one understands each other, then that's different.
Now we're gonna go more to strategy, teamwork, and game philosophy.
Okay.
How much of your success comes from planning versus on the fly decisions on the day?
I would say it's a 50-50. They say at the first contact, your plan goes to shit, right? All plans go to shit after the first contact. So I would spend, and I like to use an example on the SLE when we took over NATO. The very first mission we took over at NATO, we dominated it. And I spent a good 2-3 weeks prior to that mission strategizing, getting maps, getting intel, building a mission plan according to that. And I must say that was, maybe it's a bad example, but that was one of the few cases where the plan has gone 70% to what the plan was supposed to be. Um, but more times than not, is most of the game plans on thinking on the fly, understanding your teams. Um, so I would build teams around what the overall plan would be, and I would set guys to a certain team to saying, okay, this is the support, this is recon, this is assault, and I know their strengths and I know their weaknesses. I know what weapons they're carrying, what gear they have, and when a spanner gets thrown into the works, I know how to work against that because I know which team I can allocate to do that task.
Okay. That I do get. And when it comes to these on-the-fly decisions during the day games, are you very much it must be your idea, or are you very open to taking ideas from other members?
I often take ideas from everyone. That's what the SEAL team also does. SEAL teams, they don't, it's not just the boss that makes the call. In the end of the day, he has the final say, but he gets input from his team because everyone has skill sets that is important. Um, Everyone has an insight to certain aspects that I might have missed. So I rather get intel from everyone and then plan from there. And I would bounce it. There's a few guys I would first bounce the info off from. But most times I do it in a group and everyone's like, okay, but here's my input to it. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Well, I do like that. Okay, what about this? And then it would generally be myself and the two I see that makes the final call on that.
Okay, and when it comes to people saying their minds, it doesn't matter about experience. It can be your first game ever. You would be open to hearing their ideas and their thoughts.
Absolutely. I mean, in the end of the day, we're all clever, we're all human beings, and we all have insight that someone else might not have. So, no idea is a bad idea. Or, no, let me put it more like this there are bad ideas, but no information is not needed. There isn't information that is not needed, it might just not be used.
Okay, yeah, that I get. And then, do you think a person's airsoft playstyle says something about their real life personality?
I think it says something about what they just like. Um, yes, in a certain degree, if you got an aggressive playstyle, you might be a bit more of an aggressive person in life, or you might be a go-getter person in life, but that's not always the case. I think it's just stuff that you like. I mean, I love CQB, and that's just because that's what I love. It doesn't make me a more or less of a go-getter. I like playing aggressive as well, but that doesn't necessarily make me a more go-getter person, even though I am, um, so to say, a alpha male go-getter of a person. That doesn't translate to that. I mean, I'm just as much as aggressive person in bush games, recon, AFS. Doesn't matter.
That I do get. I mean, it can translate, but it also depends on the person.
Yeah, I think it depends. Everything is situational. Same thing with life. I must say, what does I do see, and this is a fact. If you react, it's your reactions, right? I think that's more tells you about a person, how a person reacts. If you react to a heavy situation in an airsoft game, you being bogged down by contact from all around, see how that person reacts. It's the same way he's going to react in real life. If he freaks out in a situation where he gets shot all over, instead of being calm, cool, and collected, in life, if he gets bombarded with situations in his personal life, he'll react the same.
Okay, that I get.
I guess,
So when the pressure's on there, you'll see the true colors per se.
yeah, I think that I would say is translatable. I mean, the fact that in an airsoft game, like I said earlier, I took 3 weeks prior to strategize. When it comes to real life, I don't necessarily do that. I take things as they come, I assess them, and I work them accordingly. I don't necessarily, okay, well, I've got a business meeting 3 weeks from now. I'm going to prep this 3 weeks in advance. No, unfortunately, I don't do that. Um, I prep it a day or two before the time, and I just make sure I do it correctly.
Okay, that I do get. And now, has there ever been a moment where the plan completely fell apart? And how did you recover from it?
I actually don't think there's ever been a moment where it's completely fell apart. Like I said, I surround myself with good guys. Um, we've had tough situations where the plan's not necessarily gone to like a 50% fail, which is most plans anyways. But it's then okay on the fly. This is what we're doing. This is how we can't take, you know, countering that and move forward. I don't think we've ever had a situation where it's been 100% fail.
Yeah, that is true.
Got strong players in our team, you know, and like I said, I like to pair the team up accordingly to what our situation would be. In a CQB, I would play certain guys together because I know these guys they can walk and smoothly operate together. In a bush game, I might mix and match them because this one's got better accuracy and this one's got better stealthness or whatever the case may be.
Okay, that I do. And then, if you could design a training routine airsoft player should follow, what would you focus on?
One would be communication.
Okay.
Information wins battles. In the past, when you had line wars, I call them line wars because everyone stood in a line and then they shot each other with muskets, and
Yes.
there was no real like, okay, there's communication or information. It's about who had the most ammunition, who had the most men, and who could shoot the most accurate. In today's warfare, it's about who has the most information, right? If I can see you before you see me, or if I can counter your plan before you even know I'm planning that, I can win a war. So it's not necessarily about how much ammo you have. So I would say communication is key, teamwork,
Okay.
and then get to know your gear and guns. Because if I can shoot straight, I can outperform about 70% of the guys out there.
Okay. That I do get. And do you think skill development or equipment has a bigger impact on a player's success?
Skill development on equipment.
So do you think skill development or equipment
Oh, which
has a
one
big
is
yeah, which one has a bigger impact on a player's success?
skill development by far? I can give a guy a 10,000 rand gun and I can give a guy a 3,000 rand gun. If a guy doesn't know how to use that 10,000 rand gun, there's no point. You know, he's not going to outshoot the guy that has the skill with the 3,000 rand gun. I
Okay.
know if I know my rifle at 3,000 rand dips at 50 meters, I know I need to counter it by half a head high to hit accurately. He's going to outshoot the guy with the 10,000 rand gun. If I can be more stealthy or I can set up an ambush as a skill set, I'll outshoot the guy with the 10,000 rand gun all day, every day. So skill over gear, 100%.
Okay. Makes sense. It's not the equipment, it's the player.
100%. Don't get me wrong. If you have skill and gear, geez, you'll be deadly.
That's a nice combination.
Yeah.
So what do you think makes the airsoft community special, and where do you think it still needs to grow?
What makes it special is that we don't have conscripting in South Africa, right? So there's no. Back in my dad's day, you had to join the army at 18. You had to learn, to be disciplined. You had to become a man very quickly. And we're lacking that. There's a saying, good times create weak men create tough times, and tough times create strong men. And we're very much so in a weak men stage phase in the cycle. And it's, I'm not saying that the military creates the strong men. It's just because, you know, we've got weak guys out there. There's a lot of nonsense in the world. And the biggest thing, and I can see it in my own kids, is there's a massive lack in discipline. You know, my kids leave their socks around the house and it drives me freaking mad. Doesn't matter how many times they get a hiding or how many times I have to speak to them, I still leave their damn socks. So I have to work on their discipline. You know, being that kids would be kids. That's, but there's something about having fun at what you do and learning a discipline through that sticks with you. You know, it's it's like I said, when I plan strategies for airsoft, I do it 3 weeks. I love this game. I love the sport. So I'm like putting a lot of time into it. So
Yeah.
if you're enjoying it, you'd actually put in an extra effort. So in airsoft, you're learning those disciplines through that enjoyment, and it sticks, it sinks in. And I just think also in a military sense, like it's drilled into you, and you don't want to let your guy next to you down. You don't want to let your teammate down. So you kind of like make sure you get it done right.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that in the sense of a sport in a community, it's nice. You get to go out there and get to face other people. You get to engage with different types of people, and you want to be better. Let's be honest. You want to be better than the next guy. You want to be able to outshoot that guy. And so okay, for me to do that, I have to up my skills. I have to be more involved. But what I also like about this community is we engage with each other. Yeah, there's politics as there is with everything,
Yeah.
um, but most of the guys are helpful and they engage with each other and they want to improve each other.
Okay. That's very true though as well. And then when it comes to toxicity or things like that, especially when it's a new player looking into it, how would you recommend they go about dealing with that?
To man up, you know, it's life. In our world, you're going to have a-holes, you're going to have d-bags, and I'm just using abbreviations. You're going to have horrible people in the world, and you can't run away from them, and you can't fight them necessarily either. I mean, I often want to punch someone in the face because they're just absolute jerks, but you get into trouble for that. So you need to learn how to deal with those people. So you just man up. Um,
Okay.
I would say there's a small percentage of toxic jerks in the community. You do get, let's be real, there is toxic people there. There is guys with absolute think they're the bee's knees and the sun shines out of their buttholes, but you just gotta go, okay, well, I'm not dealing with that guy. I'm just gonna leave him alone. And I must be honest with you, I've had a few encounters with people like that. And our philosophy, love others. When you go up to someone, you're just absolutely nice to them and you outshoot them, and then you're still nice to them. Those guys change around very quickly towards you. Maybe not their personalities, they're still those D bags, but towards you, there's that respect that they have towards you.
Okay, that I do get. In your personal opinion, has social media made the airsoft scene better or worse?
I think it's made it more engaging. I think it's helped expand the airsoft community because it's real. The youth is stuck on social media, they're stuck on their phones and on TV. So I think it's expanded that sense that, oh, this looks so cool. I want to be involved there. There's a few characters on YouTube that always goes like, oh, cheaters this, cheaters that. I outshot this cheater. And I think that hurts the community because I would say there's, again, a small percentage of cheaters that are there. You know, most of the guys call their hits, most of the guys play nicely. There's maybe one out of 10, 20 guys that don't call their hits. And
Mm.
sometimes those one out of those 10, 20s, it's just that they didn't realize that they got hit. They didn't feel it or it didn't register for them.
Yeah.
So I think those guys that are creating that type of content should stop and, build the sport. Don't belittle it.
Okay, that I do get. So,
Don't get me wrong. I've often in Speedsoft wanted to run with my GoPro, and I was going to post on social media and say, check this football, not calling his head. I mean, there was that one guy in our Speedsoft, and I was on a Dorito, and I pipped him on the cylinder, and I know I hit him because I can see the BBs bounce off, and he was wide open. He's like half his body silhouetting, and you didn't call it. Single shot, and I was like, the hell with this. I put it to full auto, and I dumped the whole mag out on him, and he still didn't call the hit. And then he hit me, got one lucky shot off on me, and the marshals pulled me off. I could have posted that on social media big time, and I could have said to on that social media, I could say, yeah, this marshal doesn't know what he's doing. This organization was really like just so stupid about this, and this cheater, obvious, blatant ball. But why? For what? Guys are going to go, oh, this is the community as it is. They're going to see that negativity as the whole community. There's a saying, you do something good and people will forget. You do something bad and people will remember it forever.
Yeah.
So focus more on the good than the bad.
Okay. That I do get. And what kind of legacy do you want your team to leave behind in the community?
It's the same legacy I would love my children to leave behind. To be a good person. We got this saying, KKD. Now I know crush is spelled incorrectly, but it's just
Oh,
KKD.
my dyslexic
It's
brain didn't see the difference. Hey,
yeah.
it looked fun to me.
This is actually we spelt it wrong on purpose. So it's crush, kill, destroy, right? And it sounds like wow, these guys are super aggressive, but it goes down to crush your goals, kill the negativity. So the things that come against you that blocks you, your blockages to achieve that goals, kill it. Because if that doesn't live inside you anymore, it cannot block you anymore. And just destroy life. And I mean it in a positive way. Destroy it. Live life, enjoy it, love it. If my kids and my team can live that, then I've achieved what I wanted to do with this Phantom group. Our ethos is very much like I've said before. It's about love, it's about kindness, and it's about being excellent. You know, it's not being perfect. No one's perfect, but it's about being excellent and striving to be better. That's our ethos.
Okay, that yeah, I'm happy with that. So now we're gonna do a more rapid fire kind of questions now. So, what's the funniest or wildest thing that's happened during a match?
Got shot in the butt.
Who on your team is more likely to go full Rambo or do something totally unpredictable mid-game?
Sure. Um, it's actually a tough one. Trying to think of everyone in such a big group to think about who would go full Rambo. Um, I would say it would lean towards you. Um, I don't know actually. Hey, maybe maybe you and Wiggles.
Personally, I was thinking Taz, just with SLE and the amount of mags that he takes in. Like that to me when I see that it's like, yeah, no, he's planning to live in the field for the rest of the event.
I just
He's
Taz
not
is too
coming
much
out
of a
for
strategist.
anything.
Taz is very much a strategist. So for him, he wouldn't just go full Rambo. I remember Rambo's guys with the LMG. You know, so I think someone that can just put barcode and starts running in. Okay, hold on. There we go. I know I've got it. Leroy Jenkins. It would definitely be jail.
Oh, yes.
Jail.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, he proved it at the one Bachelor's game where everyone is strategizing and there's only one open path down the middle of the field, and he's just running straight down the middle of the open field, shooting everywhere. And yeah, that's definitely Leroy. I'm going to change his name to Leroy Jenkins.
Okay. If your team were in a movie, what genre would it be and who plays you?
It would be SEAL team, 100%. That's how we operate. Um, Actually, I'm going to be a little bit biased. I'm going to like, this is what I would like it to be. So there's a series also based on SEAL team. I think it's called Six. It's just like the number six or the letter SIX. And there's a guy, his call sign is there is Bear. He's the TL team leader, and that'll probably be me because it's my call sign and TL.
Okay. So who's the more or most tactical, like galaxy brain strategist, and who's the complete opposite?
Sure. Dory would be the complete opposite, 100%. Um, but most strategists. strategic person would be, I would reckon, between Taz, Ace, and myself.
Who's the MVP of chaos? The one who causes total mayhem but somehow makes it work.
Taz.
Okay.
Yeah, flipping Taz.
Who's most likely to forget something critical like batteries, ammo, or their own rifle?
Dory. Dory, then
Oh,
Mads.
that's not what I was going to say. Who's the dad or mom of the team? Always reminding everyone to hydrate and stay safe.
Probably me, I guess. I think most
Which
guys
take
come in and they're already pre planned. But I mean, during the training, like, okay, guys, let's go hydrate.
yeah, which teammate do you never want to face off in a 1v1?
No one. I'll face off
Yeah.
everyone.
Which teammate is too into their gear?
Too much into their gear.
Yeah.
JR, and then Goose, and then me.
Okay.
Maybe I'm competing with Goose on that one, but 100% JR.
Yeah. And what's your most memorable hero moment? That one time like everything just clicked.
Oh, that was on a battle rush at Clearwater Mall, 5v5. And we were faced, yeah, that was probably the best day we had in a 5v5. We wiped most teams. And I think we were facing off, I think it's the, what's what they call themselves? Medical warfare or something like that. I think it was their
Yes.
team
It
one.
was yes, medical warfare and team one, team two, and team
Yeah.
three.
So we faced off their main team. And it was myself, I think it was you, it was Chris.
Red.
It was, I think obviously there was five of us. But anyway, so we were pushing up, we were holding, and we were taking a lot of fire on the left flank, and obviously I was on the right flank, and I decided to bust it through, and I just ran from the back all the way to the side, and I started shooting them all. I had one guy pop through on my side, took him down, went around, took down a few more guys, and then carried on around, and I took out the rest. And they all had to go back to respawn. And as I was carrying on running, my legs locked up, and I just went face planting. Um, so I think that was a great one because we won that round just purely of that pushing through.
There was one strategy I remember that we did on that day at Clearwater, and it was so good we fooled ourselves when we switched sides. Would you want to tell the listeners what this big brain idea we had was?
I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't part of that team, so I won't need to. I don't need to tell it. I think you should tell it, seeing as it was your guys' strategy and your forgetfulness.
So it was a relatively dark field. So we had the ingenious idea: we're gonna put a torch by one of the barrels, so they're gonna think someone's there. So we played the first round. People kept shooting at the torch. No one got hit. I think we won that round. We switched sides, and we forgot to grab the torch. So we started shooting at the torch the next round. So that was very memorable for me. It's like we walking past, I'm like, yo, we're shooting the guy by the barrel. There's like, he's not calling. We look, it's like, oh, we forgot our torch.
Oh, this is mine.
Take it, walk off field, don't mention anything on it.
Yeah, clever and happy moments.
Yeah, we've had some very interesting moments.
That's fact.
Who who would you say on the team has the worst luck? Like always getting hit first and just always having a bad day.
Well, I don't know if everyone's having a bad. I don't know if they're having a bad day, but I think the worst luck at this point, it feels like it's me. Like I always just get. Maybe it's because I'm so damn tall, so and broad. Like I always get seen and pipped, or my gun always jams up. Like this last weekend, I had a sights down range on three guys, and as I turned to shoot in the nice open, it was a beautiful shot. My gun jams up. So I had to bail out, switch, and back it up again, and the guy was gone already. So, or my mag falls out for whatever friggin' reason, my mag will fall out. Um, So I feel like it might be me, but in terms of someone who injures themselves, at the current team, it probably be Dory, who might injure himself. In our past team, it would have been Nova, who we called Bubbles.
On over, he knew how to take a dive.
Yeah,
Let's just say that.
like we had to look after him. Like, hey, hey, there's a rope. Be careful, be careful, and then still trip over it.
Then what's the funniest reaction you've ever seen to someone getting hit?
Um, Probably yours when you got shot in the nuts.
That was painful. That was painful. Okay, I folded like origami. I was down. I couldn't move. I needed to take time to breathe. It took me 5 minutes to recover.
I tell you, that's not a fun feeling. Don't want to get into too much graphic, but there's a certain part on a yeah, just a certain part that hurts more than the other parts.
Do you ever get into character like pretending it's a real mission, or do you keep it more lighthearted?
If it's a game we're playing, if we're playing a mission, I'm always in character. Well, I'm always serious about it because, again, it comes down to that discipline. This is not just for fun; it's also for training purposes. And I am just a very competitive person. It's my nature to be competitive. So I'm always serious. When we play socials, then it's fun, light-hearted. But if it's a mission or a competition, it's you got to be serious. Otherwise, why do it?
Okay. Who on the team would be first to get lost on a simple map?
Malice.
Who has the weirdest pre-game rituals or superstitions in the team?
Oh gosh. So I don't know that one. I know we all have our own rituals. Like you make sure the day before your batteries are all charged and you set them up. I pre-pack my stuff the day before as well. Load my mags before. Some guys do it on the day. Um, as a ritual, I don't know. Do you know?
Who's the biggest gear flexer on the team?
Who
I
who,
really.
who would you say it's got a has a ritual, superstitious ritual? Rub your hair 3 times before you go into the gym.
No, so like my ritual is okay. Pat down. Do I have my gun? Do I have my mags? Do I have my pistol? Do I have this? That's kind of my before going on field. It's like, do I have this? Do I have this? And 9 out of 10 times, I forget my gloves.
Uh, you see, I think that's also something we did in our training. Is we had a pre-game checklist of what you need to have done before, and we often say we would like you to load your mags before because sometimes you're late. So you know, be better to do it like that. But yeah, as a ritual itself, I don't know.
I'm gonna do one last of the rapid fire ones. What's one unwritten rule your team has that outsiders won't understand?
I don't know.
Always choose option B.
Yeah, option B. Option B.
It just has to. You always have to choose option B.
Yeah. If someone joins our group and they ask, then we'll explain option B to them.
100%. So now we're getting close to the end. I just wanted to find out, how do you personally define success as a leader? What does it truly mean to win beyond the scoreboard?
Well, it's not about necessarily mission success. Um, it's to do well. So if you given your all in a mission and you had a good time, then I would say that's my ultimate that I would like. If guys walk away on the field like we well known in the community, I think I mean you got there to Slayer getting energy drinks and like, yeah, we know Phantom. You know, if people know us as we are honest, we play with integrity, and we give it our all when we're on the field, but we're absolute friends when we're off the field, then I'll be happy with that.
Yeah, there's no hostility off the field.
Look, we have moments. No one's without, like I say, without fault. But there has been moments. I mean, and I've made a few mistakes myself in game where I get into a confrontation with someone and there's a bit of a shouting going on. But then always afterwards, I'm like, hey, man, I'm sorry. It was bad reaction from me. I do apologize. And we have a handshake or whatever the case may be. But I mean, it doesn't mean that you're a hard person. It just means that, we all make mistakes and we can own up to it.
100%. And then where do you see the team in a year or 2 years from now?
I'd like to see the team, excuse me, I'd like to see the team growing again. We cut down on a lot of guys because of how we were restructuring. We weren't sure of how to structure the new Phantoms as it would be. So we've lost a few guys, but I would like to see more committed guys in SOGA, um, and more in the Brotherhood. And I would like us to play some proper dominating games. And for me, ideally, is to say I want people to know Phantom, and it's
Mm.
not just because I want them to know the name. I don't want to grow like this fame reputation. I want people to know that's Phantom. I can be part of a brotherhood. I can be a better person by being part of this.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. That's very good. I mean, yeah, as you said, the I think it's taken a while for the restructuring to find what really works well. And I think, as you said earlier, this new method I think is going to work. I think it's going to work well.
Yeah.
And then, if it came to someone wanting to start their own airsoft team, what's the biggest piece of advice you would give them?
Surround yourself with the right guys. So don't try to just be big. Surround yourself with guys that are committed, guys that are going to support you, guys that you can lean on, um, and guys that you're going to enjoy playing with. It's it's more than just a team. Something bigger than yourself. Something bigger than the team. We have more socials than when we play games. We've uh, we formed a bond with each other, and that's why I call it a brotherhood, because guys that have been in combat, called a band of brothers, it can be formed in different ways as well, and that's what we have. So surround yourself with the right guys. Don't worry about being big. Live
Okay.
by a ethos as a group, so that when people see you, they're gonna not say, "Oh, those guys are a bunch of a holes. I don't like them." Um, but if that's what you want to go for, then make sure you're the biggest a holes out there. Live by that ethos and make sure everyone that's joining your group is that's your ethos. We are the a holes in the airsoft.
You do you.
Yeah, well,
You do you.
I
We did
wouldn't
not
recommend it.
recommend.
I
We do
wouldn't.
not recommend what has been said.
I wouldn't recommend it, but just know this is my vision. This is what I want my team to be, and surround yourself with those guys.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. But also, uh, would you say that keep that interaction not only on the airsoft field?
Yeah, it's on and off the field. If you want to be a
Okay.
strong team, like we are a strong team, people know we are a strong team, and that's because we are on and off the field. We're constantly in communication with each other. We're either chatting on the WhatsApp group, we're either spending time with each other, not even as a airsoft social. We just go grab a beer and we have time for each other. And when there's someone that is in need, we are always there to help. I mean, we helped one of our members move their whole freaking house in a weekend because they needed our help. So that's more than just being part of a airsoft group.
And then one last question: where can our followers find you on social media?
Um, I on TikTok as Operator Bear. As a Phantom group, we are phantom.sog.a. You can see our socials there. We've got a Facebook page that I haven't updated in a very long time, that I need to get cracking on with. Same with the website. I haven't finished the website. Um, but yeah, we mainly on TikTok, just posting our stuff on TikTok because we just like to create little videos. But if they want to also get hold of me, You're welcome to find me on Facebook, Ray van Achterberg, and send me a message. Or if you have my cell phone number from one of the WhatsApp groups, pop me a WhatsApp.
Awesome. And thanks for taking the time to discuss about yourself and the team and giving a bit more insight behind it. Always enjoy these chats. I mean, what else? There's nothing more fun than just sitting and talking about airsoft.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks for setting this up and bringing up the idea of chatting about phantoms.
It's a pleasure. I think it had to be spoken of. Everyone else is speaking about them, so why can't we speak about ourselves for a little bit?
Let's get the stigma out there.
But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you enjoyed, remember there's going to be more coming out. Hit the like button, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thanks, Dix. Thanks, guys. See you on the next one.